Yo, what's good guys, how we doing? It's been over a week now since Trials was added to the game, and I think we can all agree that it's one of the most fun game modes to play. As I'm sure you also know, Trials is one of, if not the best way to get transcendent weapons and get to quality 400 fast. And of course, one of the best descendants for this game mode is once again, Blair. I've been playing Blair in Trials pretty much since Season 4 released, and he's helped me get to almost 300 quality with consistent 6 to 10 minute runs, depending on the perks. Before I show the gameplay of the 6-minute run I managed to get with him, I want to talk about some of the perks I recommend using and which ones are the best in my opinion. Okay, so the first perk I'd highly recommend taking if you see any of these are the Imprints. There was a patch that released yesterday that supposedly fixed all these bug perks, but in my opinion they've become more busted and more viable. Basically what these do is, whenever you land a skill attack, it deals additional damage based on 100% of your skill power in proportion to either your HP, shield or MP. If you take one of these alongside a bunch of other skill power nodes like RK Overload or Enhanced Dimension, you will pretty much one-shot any of the regular enemy that touches your flame zones. After this, I'd recommend taking Limit Break Zone or Mental Focus. If you've played Trials before, I'm sure I don't need to explain why Limit Break Zone is a top 5 pick for any Descendant, but Mental Focus is amazing for Blair as it grants more skill power modifier depending on how much MP you have. Blair's first ability thrives with this because it has a very low base skill power. Before yesterday's patch, Mental Focus was the ultimate combination with any Imprint perk or Rock Smash, as it will basically one-shot literally everything. Mental Focus is still viable, but there are better options to take if you see them. MP Explosion is another really good perk to have. I'm aware of what the description says, but I'm not entirely sure how this one works. From my perspective, it basically acts like a mini Imprint perk. It doesn't deal as much damage as the Imprint perk, or clear as quickly as it, but it definitely deals some really good damage against normal enemies and can deal some decent damage against commanders. The second best perk for Blair in my opinion is HP Exploit. If you see this, I highly recommend you take this one, as the damage output can be tremendous. This perk allows one of the biggest and most consistent skill power boosts for Blair, and if you're using Blair's Flame Grilled Special Transcendent mod, you can completely nullify the HP drain aspect with his second ability. Another tip is to be careful when you take HP Exploit with any of the Imprint perks. You see, the way we're nullifying the HP Exploit's health drain is by activating Blair's second ability and killing mobs with the burn effect to regen health. If the Imprint perk you have chosen appears to be one-shotting enemies, you will not regenerate HP even if your second ability is active. This is because the damage is so high from the Imprint perk that the game is recognizing the enemy didn't die from the burn, but instead the Imprint perk. Finally, the best perk for Blair without a doubt has to be Rock Smash. This perk is ridiculously broken. In short terms, if you have enough skill power and you have enough defense, you can basically one-shot almost anything. Even against commanders, all I had to use was my first ability, maybe my fourth ability every now and then, and just wait for Rock Smash to kick in. You can see with my first ability, I'm doing about 2 to 4 million per tick, which isn't the best, but the damage is still pretty good. Then I pick Rock Smash, and all of a sudden I've gone from 3 million on average per tick to 2 to 500 million per tick. As long as you have enough skill power and a little bit of defense, which, surprise surprise, Blair's second ability provides defense, you will one-shot literally everything. Rock Smash is without a doubt the best perk out of all of them, for not only Blair, but I'm pretty sure for majority of the other Descendants. Just make sure you have enough skill power and enough defense. Very quick side note, if you see these perks that say skill power increase but crit rate at 100%, do not take these. These perks are made for non-crit descendants and can completely botch your run as well as your damage if you pick the wrong one. Alright, so with the recommended perks out the way, I'll move on to the build. For the mods it's nothing crazy, the only thing worth talking about here is Infection Amplifier. This can be changed to your liking, whether that might be HP or something else. Now for one of the most quintessential aspects to this build is the Volcanic Heart. This is an absolute must for Blair, as you want to focus your transcendent ability into the yellow section as much as possible. I have only 57.2% out of a possible 109.5% fire amplification ratio, and it's almost double my damage. I've built the weapon into being able to deal as much damage as possible with the firing. No mods aren't really required for this weapon, and I'll talk about it in a future video, but for now you can literally use anything or nothing. The second weapon of choice will obviously be the Deus, as we're using the Flame Grilled Special Transcendent mod. And again, if you do not build into additional attack chance, in both the cores and the modules, you will be at a significant damage loss. I've explained why in another video, but basically, the more additional attack chance equals the more explosions from your third ability when you swing the sword. The inversion reinforcement is flexible, though I do recommend taking the top right one here for the extra range. For the reactor, I recommend using the crit damage and Order of Truth. If you don't have this though, that's fine. Crit damage and dimension will suffice. Then for the components, a full set of bravery for the skill spam, or if you prefer, Firebrand is another set for more damage and survivability. Finally, we'll use this for the RK tuning. Use Fire Chain Catalyst only if you have fire boost ratio on your Ancestor mod. Before I end the video, I want to talk about something important for Blair that a lot of you told me you had issues with. And that is, why is my third ability not doing as much damage when I swing the sword compared to yours? I originally thought this was because of the perks on Onslaught and the Ancestor mod, to which it partially is, but after some testing, I think I may have found the main reason as to why, and it's because Blair's third ability on Flame Grilled Special Snapshots. If you don't know what snapshotting is in the first Descendant, it's basically where any current active buffs on the left side of your screen get taken and put into an actively or currently in use skill. These buffs will forever remain in that active or use skill as long as you can keep the skill effect or duration up. This applies to Blair's red flavor stacks whenever you use his third ability on an enemy. If you can keep the red flavor stacks at 1 or higher after acquiring some insane buffs, you could theoretically loop the snapshotted buffs forever. If that sounds confusing, let me demonstrate very quickly. You see, when I hold the Volcanic Heart, I get a fire skill amplification buff, and if I switch to a different weapon, I lose this buff. If I use my third ability while holding the Volcanic Heart, then switch to the Deus and swing, you can see I hit for roughly about 20 mil per swing. However, if I decide to use my third ability while holding the sword, you can see I only do about 13 mil per swing. The reason for the damage difference is because I snapshotted the Volcanic Heart's fire amplification buff. This goes for any buffs across the game, and Onslaught is a prime example. Like the Tactical Advantage skill perk I recommended in my Onslaught video, this perk requires you to be at 100% HP to gain 440% skill power bonus. If you're not at 100% HP and use your third ability while the buff is inactive, you will have snapshotted without the buff, meaning you will do significantly less damage. I apologize if I haven't explained this well, but if you can understand it, that is most likely the reason why you're not doing damage with your third ability sword swings. Anyways, that's all I have to say for this video. If you guys aren't sure of anything or have any questions, please let me know and I'll do my best to answer you. See ya.
valuable data. The trial becomes harder with each repetition. Please, be careful. Contribution will allow me to research new technology. You willingly seek even harder trials. I look forward to watching your prize. Thank you for providing such valuable data. You willingly seek even harder trials. I look forward to watching your prize. Contribution will allow me to research new technology.